I got to cutting things and I tried to tack it back up, right? And this corner and this corner, it pulled in about that much. And the rail, the cross rail was still there and there. So I cut that one off and it was still about that much off. So I said to hell with it. There are only 2 rails left, so I went ahead and cut those off. Now, that may make this whole project a little harder, but yeah, I took a time lapse on cutting off the last rail because yesterday it was raining so much off and on that it was hard to even bring the camera out for fear of having a sudden downpour. So I cut off those 2 rails yesterday, and now I was working on the one in the back there that's leaning against the trailer, but it came off in like minutes. I took a time lapse. I thought it was going to take me about an hour, and it came off in minutes. I guess by the time you do 8 of them, it becomes kind of easy or quicker with every one. All right, so what I got now, I got to go through and grind all the pads, and then I'm going to try to square this thing back up. And as such, I'm going to square it from this corner to that corner, and then I'm going to try to get the rails square to the bottom. So you're going to have to give me a couple minutes to do all that. I'm going to put it back on time lapse, and I'm going to grind all the rails real quick, make sure I don't need to go and fix any welds on those, because I'm going to be weld fixing some of these to try to build the metal back up. I mean, what do? I damned if I do and damned if I don't, but it's only an 1/8 inch thick metal. And if I don't build it back up, then it's substantially less than an 1/8 inch if I cut into it on accident. And they already did all the damage by welding across the rail, and that's where the rail's bent, was right where the weld went across it like that. It had been on the front on one side and it bent behind it on the weld on the other when they put something that was too heavy on here. So anyhow, I'm gonna go through and grind it. Now I put a light coat of primer on all the ones I've already done, and so now I have these 6 pockets I need to fix. All right, so I'm gonna grind them flat, see what we need to fix. Time lapse. Okay, so you know how I said the trailer was under immense pressure, and yeah, I was having a devil of a time getting some of the welds to cut apart because of the pressure that was on the trailer. Well, you see that piece of tubing right here? You see, it's just barely 1/8 of an inch off. You go down the length of the trailer, how it gets to about an inch, and then down there at the far end, it's actually overhanging metal just a little bit. I had it straight just a second ago. Hold on. There you go. Touching here, touching down there. That's the middle. They say stuff will warp when you weld it. Yeah, I tack welded everything. Just the gouges I made in it to fill them back up. So, because I mean, it's only 1/8 inch material. And I figured if I gouged it, then it's a 1/16, and I mean, I don't want to risk my trailer or someone on the highway's life with that. So now I have to figure out how to build that back up. And the other side is just as bad. But remember how I kept saying, if you look down the top rail there was curved like a banana. Well, that's part of the pressure that was in it. And that's where the rail wanted to be at after they bent the trailer. So now, after trying to straighten the frame this way, up and down the length of it, I'm going to try that again one more time, only now I'm also going to try to flatten it this way, and I got to roll it over and lay it on the side to do that, and then chase it, because this one, there's a weld right here, right there where the shackle was, and yeah, it feels so weird. But anyhow, and I knew I bent it right there on that one, and actually it was on this side that the shackle I thought was the bend in it, so I tried to bend it back straight. But as I was taking pressure off of it, I can't see. It looks like this one's bent right here where a cross rail was, and the other one's bent where the shackle was. Hopefully I can figure out how to straighten both the top rail and the bottom rail. I might have to do one at a time, might have to do both at the same time, I don't know, but we're going to figure that out because I got 2 bottle jacks. So yeah, stay tuned and I'll be back.